So I wanted to discuss this question with you today. Even though it's an easy question, I'm just doing it for the sake of discussion. So the idea is simple. We are given an integer array, and we are required to find the maximum difference between any adjacent numbers in that array. So n minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1, 4 minus 2 is 2. Now we maximize our answer. And the array is also circular, so the last element is adjacent to the first element. So 4 minus 1 is 3, so the answer is 3, okay? And it's pretty straightforward. We can create a for loop to loop through the array, and after the loop we would check the first element with the last element to make sure our answer is correct. So we initialize our result by the difference between the last and first element. This is our last check here, and just a normal for loop to check the difference between adjacent element, and eventually we return the result. What I wanted to do here is, let's say we have a question. We want to maximize the sum of a window of size k, and the array is circular, okay? So if we have something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and our k is 3, so 1, 2, 3, that's a window. 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, and 7, 8, and 1, okay? So that's a window because the array is circular. How can we do so? Okay, so 8 and 1 and 2. How can we do so without using any additional space? So people usually do something like they create an additional space with double the size of the array. So they would do something like that and iterate until they reach something like 4, okay? So by doing that, it would be adjacent, okay? And they don't worry about out of bounds errors or something like that. But I'm going to show an idea to solve this question using no additional space. So first, let's use our example to demonstrate the idea. So this is the size of the array, and this integer is pretty important actually, and we would initialize our difference, and in the loop we would iterate from the range of n, okay? So this n would be, this placeholder here would be the number of iterations our loop is going to perform, okay? So at this point we would have it something like n plus k, okay? And that won't give us an out of bound error, and I'll show that just a moment. The difference will be the maximum of the difference and the absolute between the current number, and we are going to make it module n, okay? And module n here is doing something like, let's say at this point our n is 3, okay? So this would exceed our bound, so sorry, I3, and 3 modular 3 is 0, okay? So at this case I would map to the first element, okay? So let's say just continue this one, minus the nums of I plus 1, let's wrap it to make it module n. So at this point, let's say n is 2, which is the last number. We would n module n would map to I, okay? I modular n would map to I. So as long as our I is less than the size of the array, we are okay, and this modular is not performing anything. But once we exceeded the length of the array, our modular would round up and map to the start of the array. And actually, so I modular n is 2, and I plus 1, which is 3, modular 3, which is the size of the array, would map to the initial element, okay? And eventually we would return the difference. So I think this should work. Yeah. I think it should be better than that because we are not even using any space. Yeah. And actually it doesn't matter if this would be something like this and exceeding the range of the array. It would always map up to the elements, okay? And the logic behind this value is it just determines the number of ways we iterate through the elements of the array, and whenever we reach the end of the array, it would map up to some index between the range. So in this case, we are iterating 3 times through the array, okay? So if I wanted to print the current number 1, 2, 4, it would do that 3 times. Oh, sorry, I forgot our edge case handling condition. So yeah, just iterates 4 times, 3 times, I mean, in the array. So you might try to practice this trick sometimes, and it would be really helpful, especially in medium questions. So given that k, it would be n plus k, and that would map us, make us iterate exactly n plus k iterations, okay? And don't forget to include our modular n at each time we access an index from the array. And I think that's it. I hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching.